At least the white segues into white. All right. Seems like things are segueing into each other. You know how I feel about cutout. I'm not a huge fan of the cookie cutter. Oh no, hold on. I'm already looking at this orange. All right. So if it were me, all right, just off the bat, I would have done white with no cutouts, no cookie cutters. And then I would do something like this, where it's literally lay it on top of. And then I would have literally just copy and pasted this bad boy, turned it around, and messed with any settings that I wanted to support layering the satin on top of a fill that's already beneath it. Okay. I don't know if I'd opted for those black lines, but I guess if you really wanted to, you could still do those as well. And in order to the rind, I would have done the same thing. I would have traced with only 3 points, guys. You don't need 1,000 points in Stitch Artist. You don't. That's what these handlebars are for. And if I wanted to, I would have done this then. Okay, so if it were me, I would have approached it like this versus having the cookie cutter. Don't know why people feel the need to have the cookie cutter. Like, I feel like we're not seeing in layers. Like, you think because there's literally something sitting on top of something else, therefore there should be a hole. Like, it's an odd logic to me. I get it. You think you're making things less bulky, perhaps, but I'm going to be honest with you. You are actually bulking it up because we already talked about what happens when you have to fit in a bunch of tiny stitches to actually make that cookie cutter cut nice and crisp. All right, let's keep sliding our slider bar around. Okay, well, I will at least say that it looks like these things are actually, hitting one after the other right into the next. I like that. Not sure about the weird shapes. I'm assuming they're going to get covered in black. I feel like I already know where this is going. Let's see. Now we do a cowboy hat. Is that a fill or there we go. We're filling in the cookie cutters. That's okay. That's all right. I would have gone. I mean, depending on the look you're going for, I guess that's all right. Okay. Look at that. We got a travel run. Okay, I like a travel. All right. So at least I'm seeing the travel runs are being used. So I'm going to give that one a thumbs up. Travel runs. Yes, please use them appropriately. All right. Nice. Okay. So that is working out. What's going to happen over here in red? Okay. Oh, the lobster. Again, what's with the weird? I don't like the gapping. I don't like the gapping. I personally will do what I call make blobs and then use black outlining to really define the shape and let you know what it is I'm trying to depict with this imagery, right? So like I would have done red blobs and then really heavily relied on black outlining to make it look like the lobster. Okay, that was interesting. Interesting approach. I literally would not have made every single one of the shapes of the flower again if we were going to have a black outline, which this one has. Look how much black this has. This is heavily reliant on black outlining. Let your black outlining do its job. Let it tell a story. And the story is what is the imagery we're trying to portray. So instead of making these 5,000 bajillion petals, right, let this black outline do it for you. It couldn't be me. I like to do things, not like shortcuts. I like to do things the right way, but I also don't like to do things the hard way. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want it to be too hard. I want it to be efficient. Now we're going to come in heavy with the black outlining. See, this black outlining would have said everything for you. You didn't need all those little pieces. Oh no. You guys, I saw the line. No more. Stop it. Stop it. I mean, I guess at least these are all overlapping, so I like that. Okay. I like how the lettering was approached. Okay, like we tried to center out. Respect. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and send this design on over to my Melco so we could stitch it out and we can see the results. And we'll truly know if this one is a pass, A+, or pass. So I gave this the same exact test that I test my own designs. I didn't do anything different. I picked a quilt cotton and used a piece of stabilizer. That is the test I give my own designs every time I test them out. That's just gonna be control standard for me. Things that I noticed is there are some registration issues. Instead of using white, I used gray because this is white. So I wanted you to be able to see it. What I noticed though is there are some registration issues, like over here, the outlines have some gapping. In here, there's a gap there. Things I would say based on what I saw stitching out, I also see that the travels are peeking through. The travels are peeking through. You see the blue and the pink. You don't want people to see them. Fundamentally, learning about push and pull compensation would solve this entire issue. I took some notes. I literally watched this thing stitch out. It took 38 minutes and I watched it the whole time. First thing, and I'm totally okay with this, it comes in one size. It is a 5x7 hoop. I verified that, 11x13 and a 5x7. And I'm wondering, how do we get here? Because did you test both sides? Probably not. Other things I did like. I liked seeing the travels. Liked it. I did notice that we kind of missed some travels. I don't know if they stitched this out and watched it stitch out. Okay, I don't know if a test happened. But if a test so would have occurred, things that would have been seen that there are some hiccups in the order of operation. First hiccup I saw was in the blue, and this was just simply an order of operation error. Could have easily been fixed by rearranging some things and moving some things around. Would have caught that in a test sew out if you watched it sew out. Now, if you just let it run and didn't watch it, probably wouldn't have caught it. But if you watched it run, you would have caught this one. It's going to go ahead and start working on this part of the boot. Now, what happened is it didn't continue on. This boot got left out of the other boot pieces. Doing the hat, okay, which is not nearby, geographically not near each other. And then it kind of bounces to the shell and then bounces back over here. So what I'm thinking is that this one little blue piece that started somehow got misarranged at some point, and it should have been included in this step here. See, this would have been a perfect segue from here to the next one. That would have been a good transition spot. All right, y'all gonna think I'm nitpicky, but I'm not, okay? Because I saw this person using travels, so they should know this. So I'm just holding them to a different standard because they show me that they have the potential to do this correctly. I'm just giving you free advice. You see this, you can just make all these changes and be great. What happens is we go from the end of this rind and we jump all the way over to this part instead of coming over to this one, which would be a closer distance. See, now we came from here to here. We could have popped onto here, 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 and then hit the middle. Like there's a variety of different solutions we could have done without having a jump. Remember, I'm always trying to think of people who have single needle machines who do actually jumps. Home, brother machines, single needles, thinking like the PE900, it's going to make that jump. You don't have to jump. You don't have to trim that jump. So let's make it easy for our users. And that's usually why I get a little picky about that, because a lot of the people who will be buying files, even say on Etsy, a lot of them are for home use. So the other thing that I noticed is that the entire thing is satin. So that probably explains the word cookie cutter, is they're trying to maintain the satin. I don't know. I feel like that has something to do with it. Not sure. Obviously, I didn't make this, but that's what it's giving. Everything was satin. So not for me, but if you're into that, you may want to consider this design. I appreciated they attempted to center out on the tech. I say attempted because the bottom line wasn't centered out, but they did start centering out, which I love that. I love that. I love that for you. Keep going. Keep going. Keep pushing it. You are right there. Here's my opinion. There's some things that I don't particularly care for, like the registration issues. They weren't the biggest gaps, but they exist. And the whole thing was made up of satins entirely. Would this design be in Drea style? No. But if you like this vibe, maybe consider getting this design. But you do know that there are some things that are issues, very minute. If you are okay with those, I would purchase it. So I'm not going to give this an A+, and I'm also not going to give it a fail. This is going to be preference. If you like this style, this one is for you. Okay? Go get it. Found it on Etsy. Now, what I will be doing is I'm going to be using this as an example to take on over to my students over on Discord, and I will be showing them how I take this same idea and make it Drea. So I'm going to show them another way to make this. And I'll be doing that over on my Discord, which is accessible to those who are in the Key Lime tier. Don't forget, this design is available for free. Go ahead and download it on my website. And I will catch you on the next video. If you have any suggestions off of Etsy, message them to me, please.